now that I've had over 40 bikes, I can look back at some bikes and go, yeah, this is probably one of my favorite bikes. And I think one of the best bikes that I've had is definitely the Vstrom 650. Even when I look back at it, it's so good. It does everything you want. And the only reason I'm thinking of the Vstrom 650 is because Barnabas, the rider I sold it to, he's now selling it after like 4 years or so. I really think that bike is probably the best adventure bike, because it's not pretending that it's like a super off-road bike. It gives you everything that you want to really go on adventure. And the reason I think the Vstrom is one of the better bikes is because I'm thinking about riding to Mexico and around Mexico. Even after hearing about the 4 people that got kidnapped and killed, I'm thinking about going to Mexico. And the bike that I would pick is the Vstrom 650. Now, I would take the Super Tenere, but the problem with the Tenere is that it's much more expensive. The Vstrom 650, for the same price of a KLR 650, like a used one, you can get a Vstrom 650. Whoa. Wow. My bike shook so much. Oh my God, that was so scary. I thought my tire was flat. But I think oh my God, it's just the wind that caught it. Oh man, that felt weird. I actually thought that I got a flat tire. The Vstrom 650, I believe, just makes the best world tour than any other bike. So shaft drive is great, but the problem is the Tenere is kind of a large bike. 1200 cc's. You really don't need 1200 cc's. I mean, it's fun. That's also one of the reasons I look at the BMW GS and I go, does anybody need 1250 cc's? Nobody really does. Hey, if you can afford it, go right ahead. But the Vstrom 650, the simplicity of the chain drive means that if anything happens, you could replace it easy. I think one of the downsides is that in the chain, the front counter sprocket, there is a push rod, and if the chain gets kind of loose, the chain can hit it and break it, as mine did when I neglected the maintenance. But if I was to go around the world, I wouldn't pick a CRF 250. I wouldn't pick a CRF 300. The Vstrom 650 gives you 50 to 55 miles to the gallon stock. And if you change the gearing, it'll give you like 60 something miles to the gallon if you behave. But it also is a 650, so it's like big enough that it can keep up with highway speeds. And it's a V-twin engine, so it's not boring to ride. And you also have the fact, and it's a fact, that the Vstrom 650 is super reliable. Super reliable. That engine, there's no issues. And it's simple. It's just a V-twin. The seat is really nice and wide, so you can log thousands of miles extremely easily without a lot of fatigue. I gotta pass this guy. That guy was going so slow. Another thing that's good about the Vstrom as a world machine, if you break down, most people are going to be able to fix it, and the parts are very, very cheap for it. The Super Tenere and the GS, more so the GS, the parts are very expensive. You know, BMW owners are talking about how their network is amazing. It's not amazing. You have only a few dealers around each city. Around here we have, I think I know, maybe 2. And if you go 100 miles south, there's another one. But There's tons of Honda dealers, there's tons of Suzuki dealers, and those are the guys that are going to be fixing a Suzuki. You can take a Suzuki to a Honda dealer and they'll be able to fix it. It's simple. You can order parts online. There's no big deal. And of course, BMWs are very maintenance oriented. I'm very biased because I never really liked my BMWs. They always tended to be over engineered. Oh my god, I got behind this freaking truck. Another reason the V-Strom makes a good world tourer, for me at least, I would dark side it. And dark siding the Super Tenere was a pain in the ass because you could only get a 175 in the rear, and that's a very hard size to get. So I managed to find one, but I couldn't find another tire. So after I sold it, that was it. And I wanted to get a 205, but the 205 fits in the V-Strom no problem whatsoever. But to me, a lot of the idea of riding a small V-Strom to around the world is so much better than an extremely large bike. For example, a BMW GS basically tells the rest of the world that you have a lot of money, a lot of disposable income, and that's not necessarily a good thing when you're going into the third world or second world, whatever. So if you're going to Mexico, South America, Asia, Africa, you don't want to tell everybody that you have money because you become a target. But motorcycling tends to be, motorcycling around the world, that's a rich man thing. Everybody likes to think, ooh, all of these people riding around the world like poor vagabonds. No, that's a rich person. That's a rich guy, a retired guy, somebody that has somebody paying for him. We have arrived in Damascus. Hey, here comes a school bus. This is the outskirts of Montgomery County. That's a pusher bus. That's what the county uses, by the way. They have electric school buses now, and Montgomery County is switching all to electric school buses. The reason I know is because I am currently training for my CDL through Montgomery County. I need to figure out a way to make money. So if you become a school driver for like a year, they pay for your CDL training. So yeah, I'm doing that, and I'm learning a lot about the buses. Man, getting up at 5 in the morning to work does not sound very appealing. $2.99? Oh my god, look at this. I told you this was the cheapest gas. I'm gonna go here and fill up, guys. You know, I was reading up on this cartel that kidnapped 4 Americans, and it's amazing that you don't hear too much of that on the news, but it should be way more prominent. That was pretty insane. And there's video of it, and it's kind of hard to tell because it's the aftermath. They don't show you what happened. It's just a pickup truck, and then they drag this like woman to the back of the truck, and then they drag another person that was on the floor, and I didn't even realize that was a person there until I watched it again. And as soon as they moved that person, there was like blood on the floor, so they, I guess, shot the person. It seemed kind of weird that they picked on these people from North Carolina that went there to get some sort of medical surgery or whatever. Really strange. I'm not really sure why. It just seems like targeted. But why would they target these people? So now apparently there's a $50,000 reward. But I mean, and the thing is, there's like tons of people around. There's all of these cars and nobody's helping, but I don't blame them. I mean, it's a freaking cartel. I was just listening to Moto Giant, and I was like agreeing with him. Yeah, you know, Mexico is pretty safe. And then you see something like this on YouTube and you go, oh my god, I wanted to go to Mexico so bad, and now I'm like rethinking it. Yeah, I'm actually like thinking about going to Mexico on a ride. But after watching that video, I'm like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna get killed? You know, the thing I'm gonna do is just, if I go to Mexico, get something cheap. I don't want to stand out with like a BMW GS that costs like $27,000. Get something that the locals would use. I was doing just a job. Now I have to learn and get a job. I went into a bike shop and I was like, hey, can I sell bikes? And it's something like I never even considered. And I thought it was pretty interesting, but until I learned the hours. I was like, oh, you have to start at 9 and end at 7 p.m. every day, including Saturday and Sunday. And I kept thinking, when do I get time to ride? Because you want salespeople that know bikes for motorcycle sales, but there's no time to really ride bikes. So to me, motorcycling is all about riding, not so much about looking at bikes, even though I love bikes. And this was a Ducati / Harley dealer, and I don't know about you guys, I'm not that happy about Harley. I like the Ducati Desert Scrambler, or the Ducati Desert, whatever that's called. It looks pretty cool, and I heard it's very good. And I do like the Harley Pan America, but that's about it. Like, my knowledge in those are very limited. But man, I guess like they would pay me $20,000 a year, which is insane for the DC metro area. So $22,000, and then you would work Monday through Sunday from 9 in the morning to 7 p.m. and then you'd get 7% on each sale of a bike. And I guess people just work for the sales. So I'm not really sure what that is, you know, but also they would give you $2,000 a month. But I think if you don't meet the quota, they would remove that. So it's kind of, I don't know if I'm a real salesman. Because like, to me, I actually like telling people the critical things about bikes. That's why my YouTube channel doesn't do too well, because a lot of times if you read the comments, you'll see that people get very angry when I criticize a bike, especially if they own that bike. And I feel very strongly about journalists, because I feel that a lot of journalists, and even the big YouTubers, once you start making big money off of YouTube, you're not going to bite the hand that feeds you. So if you like listen to guys that own bikes for like 5 years, those are the guys that really would like to hear the input about bikes. That's valuable to me. When you hear guys talking about, oh, the desert, Ducati Desert, whatever, racer, whatever it is, it's the best thing since sliced bread. I'm always wondering, yeah, while it's working, right? But are you going to talk about reliability? Are you going to talk about maintenance? What problems are going to happen down the line? To me, if I'm buying a bike, that's my primary reason, because I don't want to break down. And it seems like there's none of that, because it takes a long time to figure out if a bike is durable and reliable or not. The Harley Pan American, it's been shown that it's not very reliable. But then again, it's a new bike. You'd expect a few problems with it. Alright, let's see if we can make this light, guys. Oh, look at this guy, just got in front of it. Oh, come on, guys, speed up. Oh, this pickup truck, come on, you're 2 car lengths behind. Before tomorrow, I haven't been commuting too much on this bike, mainly because I've had to get up at like 4:45 in the morning. But tomorrow I think I'm gonna ride in to training. I'm training for a CDL. That's why you haven't seen a lot of videos from me. I'm trying to get my CDL license so I can make some money. Yeah, life is hard, guys. I gotta do something. Try to make some cash moolah. Alright, squids, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I will see you in the next ride. Thanks for watching.